Welcome to the next episode of Doing Insurance Right. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host. I'm a local farmer's agent here in Ahwatukee, Arizona and Phoenix. Today, we're going to go over what do I do if I get into a car accident. And I've had a couple younger clients ask me this one, and I wanted to just kind of make sure everybody understands on what they should do. Obviously, first, we want to make sure everybody's okay in the accident. If not, call 911 immediately and get all the appropriate personnel out there to make sure everybody is good health-wise. Nobody's hurt. Nobody needs to go to the hospital. And the second thing, no matter how bad the accident, we do want to make sure that the police get out there to make sure if there's any witnesses, and if there's any blame, that the appropriate blame gets placed, any tickets that need to be written, any citations that need to be written, that those are all taken care of by authorities, and that you also have a police report. And the next thing you want to do, if you have a local agent, you want to make sure you contact that agent first before you contact the 800 claims number. And this one is really important. Now, if it's an overnight accident and the car was totaled, that is one thing. I completely understand on that one. This one's a big one, though. If it's not your fault, especially if the police are there, they give a citation to the other driver or drivers. You want to make sure that you contact the agent first, because what we will do is we will not open a case. When you open a case, typically that's going to go on your record, whether it's at fault or not at fault. Even not at fault accidents can adjust the rate slightly if you have several of those. Maybe gives away the safe driver discount on that. So you just want to make sure that you do contact your local agent first if you can. Or if it is your fault and let's say there's not much damage to the other vehicle, maybe getting a suggestion might be to get estimates on both vehicles to see how much it's going to cost. If it's a small number, maybe not much above the deductibles, to get that, maybe pay out of pocket for that in order to keep that off the record. Just due to the fact that if it goes on the record with a raise in rates for 3 years, it might be cheaper just to pay that up front and save that money for instead of a 3-year increase. So just to kind of give you a little small idea on that, that's one of the biggest differences between like a local agent like myself and the 800 service. When you call an 800 service, such as Geico or Progressive or something where you do not have a local agent, that's automatically going to open up a case, even if it's your fault or not your fault. And if they mismark that, for example, if you go to shop for additional insurance or to compare, let's say, for example, they mark something your fault when it wasn't your fault, then you're going to have to get a letter to prove that it was not your fault in order to get rate down at another insurance, which becomes a total big cluster when you're trying to shop and things of that nature. So therefore, they kind of got a hold of you. And some insurances, I don't say do it on purpose, but it sure is funny that it does happen quite often. It's absolutely a shame that they mismarked that, because it does, and maybe it doesn't raise the rate internally for them, but it does raise the rate for everybody that you would shop against. So we just want to make sure that we contact the local agent first. And so, 3 years is a long time, obviously. So, there's going to be paperwork to sign off and things of that nature. Once you do get into that accident and things, there's going to be body shops involved, and there is going to be phone calls. So you're going to have to make sure you do answer the phone. I know a lot of people don't like to answer the phone if they don't recognize the phone number. Completely understand that. But when you're dealing with insurance companies and body shops and adjusters, you're going to have to make sure you're answering the phone as much as possible. They're obviously working as well, so sometimes they can be hard to get a hold of. So if you can try to answer their call when they call, it'll be much smoother and easier for you, and then a lot faster process. And then they can get checks cut and get everybody paid, get your car done as quickly as possible. That way you can get your rental car back, or that way you can, if a car is a total loss, that way you can get your check in order for you to try to replace your vehicle as soon as you can. So that's basically a rundown of what you should do if you get into a car accident. Hopefully that never happens to you, but just to give you a little piece of advice on that one. I wanted to thank you for joining us for this episode of Doing Insurance Right. If you would please rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast on whatever platform you're on, whether it be iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play. We would greatly appreciate it, as it does help spread the word about the podcast. I greatly appreciate that. And we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.